right, Oscar. What the fuck's up with America not knowing what the Northern Lights are?
That's dust. That's dust, Carl. I don't think you understand how dust works, okay?
Oh, do you?
No. I hope... What the fuck is dust? It seems very central to the plot, but it doesn't really get explained. I'm confused and angry. Welcome to Who Would Watch This.
My name's Carl.
My name's Oscar, and this is Who Would Watch,
Watch this. Who would watch this?
Who would watch this?
3,
2, 1. The Golden Compass is a film about... No, I've scruffed up.
You have scruffed up.
Yeah.
Like Scrappy Doo. Do you reckon if we were in the Mystery Inc. gang, you'd be Scrappy Doo and I'd be Fred?
I think we'd both be the van, and I'd be the wheels.
I'm the headlights. Seriously, this is a pretty good impression. Imagine my hands are lights.
You won't believe us. He's actually illuminating his fingers. That's actually quite a good impression.
It's really fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should probably get them checked.
I love it. You do a Scooby-Doo impression? Oh, yeah.
What are you? I'm the van.
I'm the van, you fucking idiots.
Oh, God. Today we're reviewing The Golden Compass. It currently has a 6.1 on IMDb, a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.5 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
Do you want me to work it out? I can...
No, I just think it's funny that you still don't know to get all the plot.
Oh, that's... Fuck you. No, I thought we were doing a nice...
walked right into
I
it.
thought we were doing a nice, like... I
right
thought we were like,
into it.
how many... Oh, you know what, Carl? Let me figure out how many we've done.
See this? I got my little numbers right there. Under the title.
Do not tell me that's a usual. Constantly, it's...
That is-
Fuck, let me get the numbers up.
Yeah, but you haven't got that on fucking recording, have you? I've caught you out. With evidence. I'm organised today.
I'm editing these goddamn ones. You're nothing. The Golden Compass. In a parallel universe, young Lyra journeys to the far north to save her best friend and other kidnapped children from terrible experiments by a mysterious organization.
Oh, that sounds dense.
Yeah.
Hope they're able to cover that in an hour 40.
Oh, they're gonna try. Believe it or not, that plot alone sounds pretty nuts. They were like, what if we added everything else?
That contextualizes a lot. Where's the polar bear? I have just noticed on IMDb the popularity at the moment is down to 3,021. I guarantee you after our episode goes out, it'll plummet another 5.
I love that. They always say, like, bad press is good press. But even for this podcast, like, wow, we saw it and we actually had to avert our eyes. We averted our eyes from the Golden Compass.
Oh, man. Oscar, shall we go back in time to before we had watched the film and try to predict who we thought would watch this?
Before we're happy? Yes, let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Oscar, I think we're going back into fantasy children's cinema territory.
Yep.
Because all the Narnia films are surprisingly too well reviewed for us to go through them.
Right? I was looking at that going, I guess there's big fans. You must be furious if you're a Narnia fan.
Oh my god, absolutely. You're like, oh, they stopped at Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Where's Silverchair? Where's...
That's a band.
Oh, is it?
Silverchair? That's a band.
Is it not Silverchair, the book?
It'd be funny, the
What's
band...
the book called?
The band's like, should we call ourselves the 4th Narnia book?
It
was that or
could
Goblet of
be
Fire.
a thing.
Silverchair is definitely a band.
And then type Narnia.
Oh my god, Narnia.
Is it Silverchair? Is it called Silverchair?
It is.
Silverchair! Now look up if Silverchairs call themselves Silverchair after Narnia.
Silverchair named after Narnia. No. They did.
They did?
They did.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Oscar, who would listen to Silverchair?
Oh, every Australian should.
You been to their restaurant in Newcastle?
They have a book, a band, and a restaurant.
They have a book! C.S. Lewis, huge fan of Silverchair.
He actually named the 4th Narnia book after the band.
It's actually a vicious cycle of him naming things because you know what the next one's called after Silverchair?
What?
Straight Lines.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Not Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, I don't know other songs. Oscar, we're doing The Golden Compass.
Yes.
I saw this in cinemas. Have not seen it again because even as a kid I didn't like it.
I was angry too when it was like on screen just at school and it was like a rainy day. Everyone
This
was
is
like,
what you had to watch on a rainy. This is your rainy day
this is not
sports
a rainy
film.
day, and it was like new as well. They were like, "Hey, here's a brand new one."
Like you're on an airplane. They're like, we got a new release early.
Yeah. It was that or like, I don't know, inappropriate rom-coms, like Just My Luck. Like, why are they showing that to kids?
You know, that would have made me feel good as a kid. Be like, you know what? I feel seen, I feel heard. Finally, someone that, you know, I get told I look a lot like Chris.
Oh, you can't fucking say it, so don't even say it.
Get told I look a lot like Lohan, Lindsay. Yeah. Look, have you read this? I read this.
You read the book? No, I haven't. No.
I read this one. I read the second one, which is I think like the gentle knife or something. They're really good.
Yeah.
And I liked them as a kid, even though I think they skew a bit more adult. Could not tell you what happens in the books. Couldn't tell you what happens in the film. It's been this long since I've seen it. All I know is I didn't like it.
I didn't like it as a child. I'm glad we're both going off opinions as a child. I don't think they're going to change. I don't think as a child you can watch a kid's film, not like it, and then as an adult go, I've grown to appreciate that. There's no way that's ever happened.
I genuinely think Ratatouille's better as an adult.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And we can relate to it? Critics. We're critics. Bad critics. But I can relate to that. Where he's like, a critic is a coward. I'm like, oh, nailed us.
Yeah. It's so true. It's funny that when we watch movies like The Golden Compass and it starts, and I realize I'm a little Italian child watching The Golden Compass for the first time.
And I go, Mum, this is fucking awful. I remember they had...
Mamma mia!
What the fuck is this? They had, again... It's not a good indication of the quality of the film. They had like little books in the shit cereal, and they'd give that to you.
Which one was the shit cereal to you?
Shreddies. Shreddies weren't good. I don't know where they're from. I think I've never seen them again. They're just a distant memory.
Do you reckon your mum made them? Yeah. She's like, I spend all my nights making shreddies, a fresh bowl of shreddies for you in the morning, and you don't appreciate them? I've been handwriting out sections of the novel, The Northern Lights, trying to prepare you for the new film, and you don't appreciate the shreddies or my writing.
I like an executive comes over just like, whoa, this homemade cereal? Get a brand endorsement on that. That really sells the brand that we're trying to create with the Golden
Oscar's
Compass.
mum on that. Oscar's influential at school. He'll hype up the film.
I bring the Golden Compass book to school. I'm immediately killed on sight by teachers and the bully. The bully is almost like, goodness, that's tragic.
You've done it to yourself. Sorry, who would watch it?
Oh,
fans of shreddies.
Fan of shreddies. If you love a bowl, put it in your mouth.
Yeah, look, I think the easy one's to say if you're a fan of the Northern Lights. I think the image,
yeah.
Not the novel.
If you've gone to the South Pole or the North Pole, I'm not sure where. Oh, the North. South. So, if you've seen the Northern Lights, you're like, all right.
I've lived it. What's the point of watching?
Yeah.
The Golden Compass I got was shit.
Yeah.
I think it's an easy. I think if you're a fan, this is either one, you're a kid. I think it's supposed to be for, hey, you like Harry Potter, you should like this.
Yeah. Hey,
you like the Northern Lights novel, you should like this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume they probably. I don't think.
We haven't done much research, so we don't remember what it's about.
But I do think it would be quite funny if, like, we're like, oh, this movie is good now.
Yeah.
Like, because
maybe
I'm waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
Where we're like, oh, let's review that one we both hate as kids.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this slaps. Let's go through it.
It's got layers. Maybe this will be us.
Could be us.
You know what? Let's smash for a comedic effect. Carl,
Big oofed.
This is simultaneously one of the worst experiences I've done on this podcast, and two, it's so boring. It took me days to finish this.
Yeah.
And so much happens, and yet nothing happens.
Oh, I was a bit broken.
I felt I finished it minutes before you got here. I was feeling sick.
You were sad when I came through the front door. That makes sense now.
Yeah. Hey, Carl.
You seem sadder than usual.
Got an air of glum about you. What's that about? I just finished the Golden Compass.
Oh, I get it.
Goodness, let's get you out of there.
You know what I realized when I was watching it was I was like, man, this was like strongly marketed as a Daniel Craig film.
Yeah.
He is not in this.
Where is it? Here's the poster.
Try and find the main character on the fucking poster.
Where is it? Oh my god, she's tiny.
I know, right? Look at her.
I love it because Christopher Walken's in this, and someone's like, he's like in the other promotional poster. He has a single fucking line. I was about to write Christopher Walken enters. He's gone, and I was like,
You were right by Christopher Walken.
Yes, get him.
I'm packing up for the day, Oscar. You do it solo. I'm not talking about this piece of shit film.
You're sitting down and watching the
You got
goal.
nothing to bounce off of. I'll sit here in silence and nod when I think you've said a correct criticism.
It actually is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's get into.
Let's jump into it. I've got to tell you, when I read the book and I watched this movie as a kid, I understood what was happening.
Yeah.
As an adult, what the fuck is going on through this runtime?
This film, and it starts with like, God, this is convoluted. All right, let's just sit you down and just establish the world. I couldn't be more lost. It's like the title scroll of Star Wars, and they're just like...
I licked my quill and was like, hit me. I was like ready. I was like, I'm gonna type, I'm gonna write, we're gonna do this. And still in the end, all I got was spirits are outside the body.
I've got
souls, souls are outside the body.
Alright, this is what I got. Yeah. So there's dust.
Yep.
That's in the body. And if you go to the Northern Lights takes it to the magical kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, if you're a fan of the series, we're going to absolutely butcher it.
Because I genuinely really love those first two books.
Yeah.
So I can only assume there's no fans of the books that like this film.
No.
Because this is, one, fucking boring. Two, no clue what's going on. I will say, and I think this is from the books, but why the hell are polar bears called bears of the ice?
Oh, here's the thing. I missed the first bit because I was still looking at days because I was just like overloaded. I didn't realize the polar bears popped up, and then the polar bear was very prominent. I remember the polar bear being everywhere, and he's not in the film for like 50 minutes.
Such a long time. I was so excited when the polar bear showed up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that Ian McKellen? Sold. I'm back in. Let's rescue this film, guys. I'm going to start whenever a movie's like, are you ready? Because I'm about to give you some exposition. I'm going to go get a beer and then come back.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. I was like, you know
what's
actually going to be way better at this? Wikipedia. Wikipedia will tell me exactly. I had Wikipedia, the plot, next to me the whole time. I was reading along as I was going through just to comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, if I get slightly confused about anything in a movie because I missed something with taking notes or the movie's just that incompetent, I always go to Wikipedia at the end. I'd say when this movie ended and I went, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's enough for me.
Yeah.
That is, I've done enough of golden compassing today, good sir.
I didn't even look up the plot. I was like, you know what? I'm done. Let's try and work out. Let's just establish for the audience what's going on.
Let's dive in.
There's a girl named Lyra.
Yeah. She's having a poo fight.
Yeah.
With Billy.
Yes.
They love throwing poo at one another.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, did you ever throw poo at one another when you were a kid?
Of course. I'm a child. No.
You've never thrown poo?
Are you asking seriously?
Are you telling me seriously?
You seem like you've thrown poo in your lifetime.
You seem like you
Are you a chimp?
You're pretending
You're a
you
chimp.
haven't thrown poo.
No, don't play the blame on me. You asked me confidently. We've all thrown poo.
You've thrown poo at me as I've come in through this front fucking door.
That's as an adult.
Slung it at me, you have.
Yeah, of course. I had the dog toy. You throw it at, get good velocity at you. You're confusing people. We need to set up everything because it gets ridiculously convoluted.
Okay, well, they need to know this because the poo comes back.
All right, good. Yeah, well, it's a central
How do you think
character.
they win at the end? It's not like witches suddenly come in. They throw poo.
Okay.
She stands there and goes, all right, kids, hurl your poo!
It's a fun scene because the kids pull down their pants and shit into their hand and just start flinging poo.
Like a cannon, they're like, quickly, somebody's feeding a child at the front and the child's catching the poo at the back and hurling it over.
Truly, it's pretty similar to Lord of the Rings-esque sort of, cinematography.
Better, if you will.
All right. Again, I couldn't think of a worse way to start a movie. They've pretty much gone, all right, here's a kid. Don't worry about the kid. We've got some legal things to talk about. They have a big scroll of things that establish what's going on. And then they have a big meeting with old white people just like, what should we do? Anyway, Daniel Craig is going to the North Pole to figure out what the fuck this dust is.
He's not at all concerned about the fact somebody just tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Seconds ago, somebody put some poison in his drink and he's like, I guess I'll just never confront this.
No. I'm going to run away to the North Pole to figure out stuff.
I must say, because what's her name?
Lyra?
She's hiding in a glass cabinet.
Mm.
Very visible.
She rubs her current theme in this. Constantly, Lyra's hiding in like the open air,
the corner.
Yeah,
she's in the corner, if you will. And the moment she moves, they're like, "Oh God, isn't she here the entire time?" She's like Anne in the Arrested Development.
Her.
What is she, funny or something?
Yeah.
Look.
So in this world,
Yeah.
So Daniel Craig's off to a mission to North Pole.
Yeah.
His adopted daughter Lyra. In this world, everybody has a little animal next to them.
It's adorable. It's ripe for whimsy, and they don't fucking take part in it.
I despise whimsy, honestly. I hate this aesthetic, this retro future. Like, it's Britain and the olden days, but they've got technology. Hate it. Least favorite genre.
This isn't what Britain's like.
Listen, it's a lot.
I'm gonna be disappointed if I get to London and there's not a blimp.
There's a lot of polar bears. Don't get me wrong.
Good.
Yeah.
That makes sense for its drizzly climate. If you're a UK listener, hit me up. I'm worried about getting eaten by the polar bears. No, sorry, the bears of the ice. Really quickly, I don't believe Daniel Craig's beard is real.
Would they have CGI?
I don't think they could have CGI'd it back then, but it's definitely not a real beard. Get it up on the poster. Look at it. You can't tell me that's a real beard. It's a worse beard than Nicole Kidman was a beard to Tom Cruise.
Get her ass.
Anyway, so
what else do we need to establish before we get
okay, so the little souls are called demons.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, they haven't actually selected what they look like yet.
Yeah.
So a lot of the villains, they just have bugs.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, I guess your soul's shitty.
Yeah.
I think is like the thing. I think it's fun that the main character's one's voiced by Freddie Highmore.
That's a good casting. They were like, what's
Incredible
a gross
casting.
little animal? What's the best voice? Freddie, get in here. He was just a rat. It's a whimsical movie.
I'm
He
sorry.
stumbled on, he's like, I'm doing something.
It's so like if I just imagine the voice of a ferret, it would be Freddie Highmore. Like they nailed it though.
They got the good doctor.
They got the motel from Bates. I don't even mean that as like a diss. His voice is so ferretish.
He's got like a bit of a rabbit energy about him. Like
Such a rabbit. It's just soft spoken.
Yeah.
Quiet. I know there's just things where
He's
I'm like,
great at quivering if he's in trouble.
if they had told me CGI was not used and that was Freddie Highmore, I'd believe you.
Here's the thing: Tom Holland's been cast as Spider-Man. He was going to be a new Freddie Highmore. Marvel
Tom
snatched
Holland's
it.
so Freddie Highmore-y. That's the thing. It's like Tom Holland really shouldn't have been snatched by a giant action franchise. He should be doing voices of ferrets.
Okay, and also we've got Lyra. She's the main protagonist. We've got her friend Billy and her friend
Roger.
They're kids that hang around the.
We say it like that because that's how she says it.
That's how she says
Anytime
it.
she finds him, Roger. Yeah. Look, they're hanging around. I don't know. There's child snatchers.
Oh, that's my favorite part. So essentially, like, well,
Sorry, the look I shot you.
we'll cut that.
No. Double down. Go on.
My favorite thing about that is they've gone, all right, that's quite an aggressive thing to like sell to kids. Why don't we call them Gobblers?
Is that not what they're called in like Spy Kids?
Those are the thumbs.
And they're child snatchers.
They're child snatchers.
Wouldn't it be fun if the child snatchers in this were the thumbs?
It would add to the whimsy.
The thumbs are going to get us. Yeah, look, so turns out they've been snatched.
Her two friends have been snatched before she can realize Nicole Kidman's like, come over here, small child. I've got a job for you.
Nicole Kidman sits down at a table.
Yeah.
Lyra's there. She's there eating her meal as if it was any other day of the week.
Of course.
Nicole Kidman takes a look at her, turns to the minister and is like, can I have her? He's like, oh.
He looks around. It's Daniel Craig. Oh, no, you take her. There you go. That's all
Is
good.
anyone accompanying her? You may go with Nicole.
She's pretty chuffed. She's like, hey, Nicole. She's like, go with me on a blimp. We've got an
"This
adventure.
is the easiest child I've snatched yet.
Yeah. Our protagonist could not be easily snatched.
We can get into Daniel Craig by finding the dust and going to where he wants to go and see the Northern Lights. He's basically going to basically discredit a lot of the history the world is based on.
Yes.
Now, is this anti-religious?
the book is very always criticized for it.
Yeah.
Is this the anti-Christian message of it?
I mean, it definitely gets thicker
Yeah.
as it goes on. This is sort of the beginning of that message.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's criticizing religion. I think it's criticizing the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like, it's criticizing the actual establishment, not what people believe.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just like, well, you're just saying you believe one thing even though it's been discredited.
100%.
And then stuff about that.
And listen, bit of an awkward one. The villains are snatching kids.
Look, it's
a
there.
bad
It's there. It's
there.
definitely there.
We don't know if this orphan knew, but hey.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would assume he knew.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this writer
I'm going to say
knew.
right now, this writer, the second he was about to start the Golden Compass, had a Spotlight-esque
Yeah.
sort of scenario.
Anyway, so now, and I this is like a huge issue I have with the movie, but this is a movie that does not stay still.
No.
And they're in a different location with a different group of characters around her every like 5 to 10 minutes.
The problem with this one is they're trying to set up, like, at least, like, I don't know, is there 3 books?
Yeah.
Trying to set up a trilogy.
Yeah.
And they are like, God, these are dense books, and there's so many characters that easily can be cut. Constantly, they go to a new location, they meet like 3 people
So
They're-
quickly.
and they give the most I know if you're a fan of the book, I do apologize, but they give out the silliest names to everybody.
Yeah.
They like walk up and they're like, here's Delamara and the Faye Parel, and here's Hester, and here's John Farr.
John Favreau.
They got
Johnny Favs.
They got,
And I would say the other thing is, yes, it's a dense book,
yeah.
and it deserves the treatment of Harry Potter, which is, remember, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is 2 hours and 32 minutes long.
Yeah.
This movie's a full hour shorter.
Mm.
So what do you expect?
There's like the moments you need to just establish who these characters are, because you're pretty much like, no one gets any character development. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone gets an arc even.
You know what's like great about Harry Potter? Like the first one at least,
Yeah.
does not begin with voiceover exposition or
No.
graphics explaining exposition.
No.
It just starts.
Yeah.
And then you learn the world through Harry Potter's eyes.
The only one, it's weird because I feel like this kind of starts the same as Lord of the Rings. I don't know why Lord of the Rings gets away with it. I think because
I mean, the movie that follows is really good. Like,
it works in Lord of the Rings. I don't know why.
yeah.
I think because it sort of sets up just a general like, hey, here's like the prelogue. All right, let's get into the story.
I mean, I guess it also has like grandiose battles.
Yeah.
And they've filmed it. Like,
Yeah.
I think one of the big issues with voiceover exposition is that they're just paired with some shitty graphics a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they're just like, look at this happened, and then this happened, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Whereas, I guess the prologue of Lord of the Rings is like, there's almost a mini story to that. Because
Yeah.
it's like, he had it, then he had it, he was corrupted by it, he took it to, like, there's
There's a story,
there's
and
almost
by
a-
the way, there's a ring.
yeah, there's like a story to, it's like how the ring got made, how the person that's going to find the ring has it now.
Whereas this story is Daniel Craig, sometime in the future, will find out about dust. We're not going to tell you what dust is. Moving on.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and they're also just like, all right, Lara, go with Nicole Kidman, and here, have the titular golden compass. We're not going to tell you what it is, how to use it. It's also really important. Don't give it to anyone. We won't tell you to do that anyway. Put it in your pocket.
Good luck. What the fuck is the Golden Compass?
Oh,
what is
thank
this?
God you asked.
What is this?
Oh, I don't know.
you don't know?
I
Good.
thought you were going to fill me in.
Oh, fun.
So so what they say basically predicts the future, and you can see into the past. Is that what it is?
I worked this out like an hour and 30 in. I think it's like memory Google. You can ask it anything, and it will kind of show you the gist.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a compass. I don't know why it has like a bunch of symbols around it, and it keeps turning to things. And I go, oh, that must be something. They're like, no. You just look through it and just figure out stuff.
Yeah, because I never understood, because she then has to turn the compass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she always has to. It's basically an 8-ball.
Yeah.
That's what I think
She
it
shakes
is.
the compass. Is Daniel Craig gonna live?
Ask again later. Shit.
I'll give it 10.
The Golden 8-ball would be a good film. I'd watch that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I'd sink $180 million into that.
How much did this cost?
$180 million.
Fuck off. 180 million.
Yeah.
This film
this
in
film.
what year?
2007.
Oh. Oh no.
How weird's this though?
Oh,
was
it
like,
makes it so much worse.
it's funny because it's also the first film to like do well in the like
Oh.
international box office. How weird's that?
What? Because it made most of its money overseas.
Yeah, overseas.
Yeah, because Americans aren't. Oh, I don't.
But then the problem is they sold the international rights. They actually made fucking no money.
Oh, I can't believe they spent that much money on it
Yeah.
for an hour and 40 minutes. I wonder if it was chopped up. I always wonder if they just chop up these fucking
I was
movies.
looking up the director, and he was pretty much just like, I wanted this to be longer, slower paced, which is like exactly my criticism with it.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
it's so snappy, there's too much. And he
It's
was like,
so snappy, it's boring.
yeah,
That's like, it's weird that like these new movies are like, oh, you know, there's beloved franchises that take their time doing things. Ah, no. Like, I don't. But there's a that's why they're beloved.
that's the thing. I feel like the first two Harry Potters are like upwards of 3 hours. They're pretty close to.
Like I said, the first one's 2 hours 32.
Chamber of Secrets is getting to 3 hours.
Chamber of Secrets is longer.
Yeah.
2 hours 42.
Yeah, fuck. And then they're like, cool, we've established stuff. We can kind of get into the plot heavy stuff because you're kind of good with the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they're all over 2 hours.
Yeah.
This like.
Yeah, but the studio wanted this under 2 hours.
Then don't fucking. I just don't understand ever when there is a book that's giant. They're like, you could squeeze that into 90 minutes, couldn't you? And somebody's like, if you pay me amply and it kills my career, yeah, sure.
Yes, I would.
Anyway, look, they're with Nicole Kidman for minutes, and she's eventually just like, I'll snatch her. That's the thing. It's like things just move quickly. Like you're like almost given a montage of like her first night before Nicole Kidman's like, take your fucking bag off.
Yeah. And granted, Nicole Kidman, she's like, take off that hideous bag, get it out of my sight. She refuses. All we know from about Lyra so far is that 1, she's a liar, and 2, she's stubborn. I'm relating.
Oh, 3, she sucks at hide and seek.
Oh, she fucking sucks.
Specifically, the hide. So she runs away.
Yeah.
And we do get to and we also get it proven that she took Roger.
Yeah.
She's like, Roger, no!
Rats, I'm gonna go find him in the Arctic.
The monkey tries to get the compass, but is foiled by a window.
Yep.
So, you know, the stakes are high.
Stakes are high.
And then, of course, in what is the highlight of the entire film for me, Lara is caught in a giant net.
It is funny because pretty much she finds out that there's like an organization that's stealing kids, and you're kind of like, oh, how are they doing that? We can only assume they've caught every single child with a comically large net.
Roar! And just throw the net over.
Why are they stealing children? Is it to take their daemon?
They have the nets.
Might as well.
You got to give purpose to the net. What's a net without something caught in it?
If you have a child and a net in a room, guess what's going to happen?
It's going to end up in a net. It's going to end up in a net. What are you going to do if there is a net on the floor and a giant picnic basket and a child in the room? That child's going to end up in the net.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to end up with a full tummy.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. The lucky thing about the net is it contains a picnic basket.
I'd hop into any net if it meant there was a free meal. Any net.
I'll be honest, how embarrassing would it be if someone found you in a net? That would, like, I genuinely, if I stumbled across someone in a net, caught in a net, mocked.
Anyway, so once she's caught in a net,
Yeah.
Everybody's hit by arrows, and Billy's mum's there, and it's just like, hey, where's Billy? And she's like, but I'm after Roger!
And she's like, all right, don't worry. We're now on a boat.
Oh,
this film,
34 minutes in, she's on a boat to another country. I'm thrown.
They introduce 3 characters below deck. They're like, all right, here's the captain, here's the guy who knows the Golden Compass. The Golden Compass does this. They don't really say what it does, but they're like, good luck with that. That's a thing. While on the boat, Nicole Kidman sends little spy flies to attack them. 2 spy flies, which are just little bugs.
Yep, tiny little robotic bugs.
Easily defeated.
Oh yeah, guess how they caught? In a jar.
Well, some guy's about to throw a net and they're like, ah.
No, it's too small for the net. What else have we got? Jar man steps aboard.
They're pretty much like, oh no, there's a spider. I guess I'll cup it and put some paper underneath and shimmy it out. What? I know it's in the book, but like, this is...
I don't remember it.
Send thousands of these things to get this Golden Compass.
They probably do.
They send 2.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's also weird too because there's a big thing in like Dune
Yeah.
with a mechanical bug being an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
That's far more frightening than these two little dork. Honestly, as soon as I saw these spy bugs, I went, they voiced by Freddy as well.
I'm gonna go zap ya.
I reckon everyone should have been voiced by Freddie Highmore in this film. Anyway, so we also get to see where all the kids are.
Yeah.
It turns out they're in a sweatshop for letter writing.
Yeah. No clue what they're doing with the children.
Don't know what's going on, but this nurse, evil character being like, Billy, don't you want to write a letter? He's like, I don't know what I'd say. And she's like, write the fucking letter, Billy.
This is the bit where it's like, you write the truth. And I was like, is this the Christian messaging? They have like, I don't know, like propaganda or something. Like, what is it?
It's kind of like Where's Wally, but with anti-Christian themes where you're like, is this the
Is this the metaphor?
Is this where the church got upset?
Yeah. Was it the polar bear? Were they not a fan?
Oh, everybody knows, because famously... Well, I guess the polar bear's a sub-in for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. He's like Aslan. I like how these are like the two... Like, there's the Christian kids get Narnia, and the rebels get the Golden Compass.
And in the end, nobody wins. So anyway, Lara's just chilling on the boat.
Yeah.
And then a witch appears.
Oh.
And it's Eva Green.
She says her name. I was about to write it. I went, fuck off. Let me just get it up. I haven't written it, but she's a witch. Witches have different powers. Their little demon can go, oh my god, here we go. Sefarina Pekalala. I was not writing that. Anyway,
yeah, I know, but you nailed the pronunciation.
Thanks. I'm pretty chuffed with that. I did write it down. I was just being a bit nervous.
Yeah. Like we just meet famous people being weird iterations. It's
Yeah.
like Eva Green, but she's a witch.
She-
Sam Elliott, but he's
a
a cowboy.
Eva rocks up for a minute and is
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm a witch. If you ever need me, I'll be around. Flies off. You're like, well, I guess she's coming back. Otherwise, that was insane.
You're like, God, how fun would it be if she didn't need her again? It's her basically sitting against the phone being like, can't go out today. What if Lyra needs me?
What if a small child needs my help and my gang of witches?
What if a child's caught in a net?
We're off the boat now.
We're off the boat.
Again, we're now in a cowboy town.
Yeah, so
we meet another couple of characters.
I love that Sam Elliott is cast as this cowboy
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder who they would cast as this character in the HBO show. And you're like, oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Here's the thing. They're both from California.
They both hated Power of the Dog.
Lynn's Letterboxd review was scathing. It's no Hamilton for every movie he watches.
He's like, I just don't believe it. He's like, I don't believe it.
I just can't relate. There's no rapping involved.
He's like, the repressed homosexuality needs to be topped with rapping.
Where am I in this film rapping? I can't find me.
Yeah, look, so she's basically sitting down,
Yeah.
just playing with the golden compass, and characters are like, hey, is that a golden compass? Constantly they're like, that should be destroyed. That's the only one left.
Yeah.
Why have you got it? And I'm like, by now you should probably stop whipping it out.
Yeah. Also, someone take it off a child.
Oh,
Their hands are weak.
she's so easily stabbed. So easily stabbed.
You grab her with the head, bam. Yeah, she is not seeing
We've
that.
seen her get caught by a net,
Yeah.
so she could be stabbed in a heartbeat.
Here's the thing. Frail rope or a dagger. You know, one's winning.
It's the frail rope. She's like, no, I'm caught forever.
I've looked through the golden compass. It doesn't end.
It says I'm here in the net forever. No.
And then we get introduced.
We get introduced to Polar Bear
Yeah.
McGee.
I do love this because it's established, and I think this is canon. He starts off with the introduction by drinking a bucket of whiskey.
Yeah.
I can only assume for the rest of the film he's very drunk.
I can only assume this is Bundaberg. I have written his name down as Bundaberg. I believe he's that.
Yes, I do like that. It's the drunk Bundaberg. Snowman, he's like, okay, I'm going to drop everything to help you, little child.
You know Bundaberg Rob? That's him. That is him.
Pretty much, Lyra goes up, he's like,
She nags
God.
him.
She's like, God, you're drunk. God, you're a fucking drunk polar bear. He's like, I could have been a king.
Could have been a king.
His plot line is that he's depressed because he lost a battle between a guy, and then he became king, and he didn't become king, and now he's a drunk and has lost his armor.
I misheard something. I misheard it, and I wrote it down anyway, and I went, I hope it's just this. But she's like, why are you washed up? And the guy that she's with is like, because he hasn't got any pants. And I was like, oh, that's right, because he just needs to get back his pants.
Yeah.
Like, my vague memory was I got the pants confused with the armor, but I was like, oh, I'm keen for him to wear pants.
I blink. Here's the thing. Him in some trousers, some jeans, some denim. He would sell a lot of Bundaberg.
He's basically Norm from the north. What antics is he going to get up to today?
I don't understand. His conflict is... Okay, two things. One is conflict. He wants to be king. And two, he's lost his armor.
Yeah.
Lara's like, want to help? He's like, what are you doing? We're trying to stop some snatching kids. Like, oh, let me put my armor on.
It's one of those things where she's met him
Yeah.
for a few minutes.
Yeah.
She looks into the compass and is like, oh, your armor's here in town.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, things...
Even the snowman's like, oh, not the snowman, the
bear of the ice.
The bear of the ice. Yeah.
This is the issue with the movie is anytime there's a small conflict,
Yeah.
solved
'cause
immediately.
They don't have time to even like
No.
have a little subplot.
They don't.
Except they do, because then they do this bullshit. So anyway, the snowman's like, all right, I got my armor back. My other goal, just like in my journal, was...
You reckon he gets the armor on? I kept on having fun little... I was just like, how's he getting that on? Because it's like, he doesn't have thumbs and whatnot to like actually put the armor on.
And it's a
put it on
back
his
brace.
head.
It's got like a little chest plate.
It's kind of fun.
I imagine he just rubs himself up against a rock and
until he can get it on.
hope he just gets it on.
When they're like, the polar bears escaped and they're crowding around the building with all of the arrows and guns. What you don't see is it then took 5 days for him to burst out.
He was shy. He hadn't worn it in a while. He'd
like,
been...
Somebody get the back one on for me, please. I haven't worn armor in a while. I think it would have been fun if it didn't
very
fit.
drunk. Help. I need some... Please. Okay. It's not normal for me.
Careful. He's really vicious. They walk in. He's thrown up everywhere. Curled up in a fetal position. He's got one piece of armor on. Thrown away the rest. And he's like, I'll stay here.
I'm having fun. Don't pick me up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lyra's like, all right, Mr. Polar Bear, what's your goals? He's like, well, I want him to be king. And she's like, we can do that. So then they go, all right, let's pause the story. Let's figure out this Polar Bear's life. They then go, so they're like, they've got the gang, and Lyra's like, okay, I know kids are getting snatched, but I'm going to leave without telling you guys, and we're going to solve this Polar Bear's story.
Yeah. Like, in my head... thought that her and the polar bear were like best friends from the beginning.
Yeah, me too.
So the fact that he's come in halfway through and they're best friends immediately, and she's like, I'm just gonna go up and meet the king polar bear and be like, hey, duel that guy.
That's the gist. Because her conflict is like, well, if he rocks up, they're gonna just kill him on sight. So I'll go up to the king, go, hey, Mr. King, I'm his demon, and I don't really want to be. Like, he's kind of lame. You're fucking cool, though. You should, like, totally fucking defeat him, and then I can be your demon. He's like, that's a great idea. I'm gonna put my armor on. Way better armor. Terrifying. 3 times as tall.
Horrifying. So spiky.
Lyra's like, oh, I fucked up big time. And then the polar bear rocks up like, all right, what did I miss? And Lyra's like... Ooh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. You know the king? Yeah, you fight him to the death at 3. Ooh, I'm so sorry.
It's funny that that's pretty much a dialogue. Be like, I'm so sorry. I've really, really fucked up. Oh god, you know what? She's like, it's wild the compass didn't predict it, so it's kind of the compass's
It's
fault.
kind of on the compass. I love it as well because he runs up. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You've been running for days.
He
You're
should
probably
be tired
exhausted."
from the run. He should be really tired.
She says that like you look exhausted. He's like, "No, just a glass of water would do me."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a bit tired though.
He's flat out like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Stands up tall, and I'm just like, fuck, he's tired.
He's so tired.
He's putting on a brave face for the girl, but that's a man that that polar bear's going in to die.
He's puffed. He's puffed.
He's absolutely puffed.
He's had a light jog and he's like, oof. Haven't done that in a couple of days.
If somebody made me do a light jog through the Antarctic and then went, I've signed you up for a duel, I'd be very upset.
Imagine this, if you will. You've gone, all right, you've had a heavy day of day drinking. You then run, and now you're going, all right, you're fighting to the death with a man who's ready and better than you.
You've had to put on the hottest armor. You haven't worn it in a while, so you're padding it out with a lot of the fat you've gained being an alcoholic in town. It's just the polar bear story, if you were to take it out, one of the saddest things ever in a fantasy film. just a sad downfall of somebody.
I've never seen an animal drink itself to death. That's implied.
Oh, anyway, they fight. It looks like an animated film.
Yeah.
It did win the Academy Award for special effects.
Does it beat out Happy Feet, or was Happy Feet the year before? Because it looks like Happy Feet.
So, well, Happy Feet was animated. This wasn't an animated film.
No, I'm saying the fight
Yeah.
looked animated.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks like a scene from Happy
Oh,
Feet.
yeah.
Yeah. As in they're dancing.
It's a dance off. I'm
God,
so
drunk.
sorry.
I'm so full of rum.
Just dancing.
Anyway, I was pretty surprised at this. As they're about to fight, he bites his hand. He's like, "Oh, it's all lost." The guy gets the strength and just fucking rips off his lower jaw.
Yeah.
I had to check if this was
Pretty
like
gnarly.
this is PG in Australia.
Pretty gnarly.
But
I mean, it's animated. It's like when Happy Feet gets his jaw ripped off.
yeah,
You know, shit happens.
yeah, shit happens.
Or when Happy Feet's trapped in that enclosure, and there's people superimposed on the outside, and he dances. And Bill and Nil the krill are there.
Play by Brad Pitt. Play by Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt and Matt Damon are both krill. Oh, God, it's a beautiful story. We should watch Happy Feet 2 sometime, because the krill are great.
Don't do it for the podcast, just in enjoyment.
For fun.
For fun.
Palate cleanser. We'll bring it up.
What did you watch this week? It was Happy Feet.
Happy Feet 2! Yeah, look, so they've found Billy. His demon's been...
So they finished the fight and they're like, all right, what's next on your to-do list? They're like, well, I'm going to save those children. Like, all right, let's go.
It's what it feels like is characters ticking boxes, doesn't it?
It does.
This is a movie of fucking ticking boxes.
Exactly. They're like, we got the plot. Like, they've gone the Wikipedia plot. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, let's just tick that off. Because here's the thing. He's now king of the polar bears. And he's like, all right,
Off I go.
off I go. Take the polar bears. Take him to the fucking snatchy place.
It's also one of those things where I'm like, man, are they gonna... If you come back, they're probably gonna be like, well, you abandoned us.
Yeah.
So you lost the crown. Do you
Yeah.
want to fight somebody else to the
Yeah.
death again? Also, fun fact, Daniel Craig still hasn't really been in the film.
No.
Since the beginning.
Has been there for... Nicole Kidman pops up one time in the blimp. I shit you not. I wrote it down as the note. I went, Nicole Kidman's on screen. She looks at a pic of Lyra, slaps the monkey, scene over.
It's pretty powerful.
It's weird because that's just like Nicole's still here. She's a
Yeah.
looming threat.
She's moving ever so slowly. I always really liked that one line she has where Lara's like, "Oh, what does this mean?" And Nicole Kidman's like, "You do live in an ivory tower, don't you?" And then sits down at the front of her blimp in the nicest looking room with a whiskey. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
It's fun. She's a bit cheeky.
Anyway, so after they find Bill, it is kind of the implications of some of the things in this movie I think could have been actually played to be pretty dark and creepy.
100%.
And I remember them being creepy in
Yeah.
the book. Because Billy, without the demon, is quite sad.
Yeah.
And he's
like lost all his
rocked by it.
memories and
Yeah.
everything, but at the moment he's just like a bit cold. He's like, "Where am I?" And she's like, "Nah, we'll get you back to town."
It's also weird too, because like once I see him, I'm like, oh, that's right, Billy, you deserve this.
Yeah.
Because of how he acted at the beginning of the film.
Exactly.
So
Ugh.
Because
It's comeuppance, really.
yeah,
You-
I mean, she's like, "Oh, Billy, where's Roger? Find
She's
me
over
Roger."
there. And they're like, all right, see ya, Billy. We're going to leave you in the wasteland.
It's so funny. She walks up to where the children are being held hostage and is like, "I come in."
This is the... I don't know. What's her plan? She doesn't have... the polar bear's lost on the bridge because the bridge has collapsed. She's like,
I
right,
forgot that happened.
I'm a child. What do I do to get into the facility to save the other? I know I'll just walk through the front door. They immediately capture her.
They're like, "Oh, they're starting to walk up to us now. Get those people off the streets. They're coming here for
thank
free."
God, that makes things a lot easier.
Would have been smart if she was like, "Hi, my name's Lyra. I'm 30," and they're like, "Oh, okay. Nobody snatched this one.
No one snatched
She
this one."
looks, she looks like a child.
Yeah.
She's not.
She's very old.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell by the crow's feet.
She's actually aging very poorly." They neg her.
I like
the
she
entire
she
time.
walks in like, hey, I'm 30. She's like, we know.
Oh, you 30? God, you look 50. You look old. Lara, you look really fucking old. They're like, what, do you smoke 30 packs of cigarettes on the way over here on your
I've
journey?
been snorting dust.
She's walking around. She finds Roger.
Roger.
He's like, "Oh, my name's Roger. Let's get out of here."
Roger hasn't got many lines in this film. He's just
Yeah.
kind of there.
We
And-
now get... Oh, sorry. You.
No, I've got nothing.
We now get what I think is the only good scene in the film,
Yep.
which is what they go to separate her soul.
Yep.
I thought this was good. Like,
Mhm.
genuinely, I was like, oh, imagine if I cared more. Like,
That's it. That's the thing. It's like, man, I've been angrily watching this for like a day now.
Yeah.
And when this scene pops up, I'm like, yeah, I guess, but
Because I just thought the little girl was really good in it.
Freddie Highmore screaming at the top of his lungs. Is
I
really
mean, he's
good.
doing what he was doing the entire film.
That high pitched hum, Freddie.
Oh, I mean, seriously, the scene started playing, his high-pitched hum going, my dog got up and ran to the television and was like, "Get me in there! I can save her!" Yeah, and then Nicole Kidman enters and is like, "No!"
Stop doing that. That's my daughter. I'm blown away.
She's like,
What does this mean for the film?
Don't know.
Not much.
It's
I
a
don't know.
weird twist
Yeah.
because I don't get it.
Mm.
And then she's also like, "Oh, and Daniel Craig's your dad."
Yeah.
And you're like, okay,
He was already a father figure to her.
what? Yeah.
I wasn't really.
And this pays off within the context of the actual story of the book.
Yeah.
But here it's weird because they don't pay it off.
No.
So
It feels kind of weird. You're like, all right. And then they're like, well, you go back to your room and we're all going to just forget this happened. And then Lara's like, all right, I'm going to escape with the kids, blow up the place.
why does it blow up?
I literally, and here's my only, I think she throws a metal thing in and it's like a microwave and it blows up. That's my only.
She
design-
throws a microwave.
No. You put like metal in a microwave and it blows up.
A full microwave
Yeah.
at a fridge?
Your electric appliance jokes never land. You should know that. You should know that deep within your heart. They never land. That oven bit, I had to cut the whole thing. It was bad.
However, we do need to get to our sponsors, Better Electrical.
Oh,
If you want to blow up a child snatching place, boy, can you get your microwaves and fridges here at Better Electrical. Use the code BERTEEER, which stands for BERTEEER. Shall I continue with this bit?
If you can spell an acronym in less than 30 seconds, you get to keep it in.
Better Electrical. Better Electrical Termites. Ever ending remorse. EEER. Oh, I did 3 E's. Better Electrical Termites. Ever ending illuminating remorse. Buy it.
The great it landed. I'm pretty happy with that.
What's good is we proved I'm quick on my feet.
I love I edited out just like the pauses. So it's like, I nailed that joke.
Somebody's listening, folding their laundry, going, oh, God, he's quick. Oscar gave him a challenge, and Carl rose to it.
Anyway, they just escape. They run out with all the kids. Immediately, the guards are like, we have so many guns. And Lara's like, you could kill all those children and me. And the children are not happy about that sentence.
Because immediately one of the guards is like, set your tiger on the
Yeah.
kid. And she's like, no, I didn't plan this.
Oh, fuck. They weren't bluffing. I was calling their bluff.
Roger is like, I'll just hold your hand when you die.
Yeah.
Just walks up and holds it.
The witches are back.
Oh, I hated this.
I hated this. I literally was like, I'm mentally clocked out. I put my notes down and I'm going to absorb.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you did that because I turned my phone off.
Oh.
I just went and I'm just going to watch the rest of the movie
Yeah.
unfold.
Yeah.
Because I'm done.
Let's go for it. They have a big fight.
Don't care.
The witches are kind of doing something. I'm
Don't
like, oh,
care.
they've won. And then more people come. It's like, well, they had this in the bag.
Yep. They win. Sam Elliott's like, hey.
You're some girl. Roger has a weird line. He's like, I'm never going to leave you again. I'm like, Roger, I could not give two shits if you're in the
Roger's
next...
like, I'll never leave you alone again. And she's like, Roger, you couldn't help the last time you left me alone.
You were the first person who got goobered. I don't think we've stressed it enough. The children snatchers are called goobers. I had to write down goober like 20 times in my notes. Goober. That's a silly name. And it does not stress the importance of kids getting snatched with big nets. But if you had to call something a pedo snatching kids with nets, it's a goober.
They've pretty much been like, what's the most successful part of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Let's put that in this.
That's such a strange plot line that I always forget in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I know, but it lands.
It does land.
It does
doesn't
land.
Yeah.
The songs they sing about it. Oh, I'm a child snatching freak.
I've got a net. I'm gonna.
He does have a net.
He does have
a fucking net in that film.
Man, here's the
Wow.
thing. Modern pedophiles never have nets. They're also, I've got a white van.
I love it. Roger's like, I'm never going to leave you again. She's like, you literally got caught in a net. And he's like, didn't you? And she's like, no, you weren't there and can't prove it.
Can't look for the golden compass? No,
No.
no, don't.
No, I got the golden thing.
They pretty much spend the next like 3 minutes, 5 minutes setting up the sequel, and you just have to laugh. You just have to.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when they're like, aren't you keen for the next one? And
Roger's
it
like,
never comes.
yeah. Roger's like, we're not going to get in that net again. I'm like, well.
Roger's like, I'll have a bigger part in the sequel, won't I? And she's like, sure you will, Roger. Winks at the camera and it comes up, cancelled.
Roger's like, you get paid for the second movie, you don't get paid for the first.
He's like, I'm doing this pro bono because I think it's going to be a hit.
I've got to share the market. I get the box office returns.
He's like, I paid the 80 million.
Carl, who would watch The Golden Compass 2007 PG-13 1 hour 53 minutes?
I gotta say, if you're a big fan of North, South, East, and West, they all get their dues in this compass.
I don't think the compass has a single orientation on it. As a matter of fact, it's a bunch of symbols.
If you're a fan of man, bird, box,
Snake,
thumbs up emoji,
winky emoji, this is for you.
it's essentially the golden emoji, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very the Emoji Movies-esque, actually.
It's
now
very
you think
Emoji
of it. I guess if you
Movie-esque.
like the Emoji Movie.
Yeah. If you're a big fan of the Emoji Movie, get the Golden
I guess
Compass.
you know who it is for. I think it's for people that are actually just going to enjoy this movie regardless of any sort of quality. And I'm directing that at people who are already fans of. They're like, oh, the Percy Jackson movie adaptation slap. Thus, the Golden Compass slaps. Thus, the Dawn Treader slaps. Thus, like they're just like, oh, all of these. Any sort of the Spiderwick Chronicles, one of Freddie Highmore's classics.
Oh, second to this. This is a fun period of like the early 2000s and the late 2000s of just these films because they're gone. Netflix. Here's the thing: they deserve a TV series. I'm not really sure Harry Potter pulled it off spectacularly.
They did, yeah.
Hunger Games fell a little bit off, but kind of like was okay till the second one. They need a TV series.
You know why these movies can't pull it off, but Harry Potter was able to pull it off. In my opinion, is because Harry Potter's basically all set at a school, and they're nearly all the same characters each movie.
Yeah.
So they never have to they never go, oh, we're traveling to another land.
Yeah.
And you have to now meet everybody new in that land.
And constantly, it's like normally. I mean, I think that it's just normally a defense art teacher. I think that's the only like really rotation, really.
Yeah, there's always like a handful of new, but it's never like, oh, we're in a new climate.
Yeah.
I have to learn all new people. Like it's always like, let's return to Hogwarts. It's the same bullies, the same supporting characters,
100%.
same teacher. It's just because they're, you know what it is? It's like there is an episodic form, like almost feel to Percy Jackson and the Golden Compass within the actual plot, where you're like, oh, they've achieved that thing a third of the way through. That could be 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Whereas Harry Potter's just seems like way more of an arc.
100%. And also, I mean, I haven't read them for a while, but if I remember, it's quite like each chapter's like a little mini story, if I remember correctly. I remember like the dragon egg in like the first one is its own like sort of little thing. I don't know if it goes anywhere, but it's like, that's like 50 pages. And they're like, all right, let's just cut that.
Yeah,
let's condense it.
Would also say like the first 2 Harry Potters are super fucking simple novels.
Yeah.
Like they're just they're very much kids novels. They're
Yeah.
so simple.
Yeah.
So they're
And
not
once
as
and what's that, 5 hours of like context and like growing up? It's like, cool, we can just. Alfonso was like, oh, yeah, we're gonna ramp this bad boy.
I'm
up.
gonna make this good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking nail this. Oscar, who would watch The Golden Compass?
If you don't like the Daniel Craig James Bond films, you're gonna love this. He's in it for minutes. If you like Christopher Lee being in one scene, having one line, you're gonna love this. They've actually just chucked a bunch of Lord of the Rings characters in here.
They have. You know, Eva Green from Casino Royale is also in this.
What a weird day that must have been.
Yeah.
They were like, with it both on the Golden Compass, like, hey.
Oh, those 2 never met on set. Guarantee it. She floats in like a fart twice and is like, I'll be there when you need me. Well, I was there. Bye. And he's like, hey, I'm walking around Oxford at the beginning and I'm in a cozy little hut at the end.
I'll be honest, that girl, give it to this girl. Is she in every scene?
Yeah, it is a huge starring role considering there's no other kids.
Because all the major big actors, I think, have very little roles. Like, barely like
you're
lines.
absolutely right. Also, she doesn't act against much during the whole section with the polar bear.
Yeah.
That's her having to react to just fucking CGI.
Good for her.
Good for her.
What's her name?
She's in seasons 5 and 6 of Skins.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? I saw that Skins was on her resume and I was like, ooh! And then I was like, oh, it's the later seasons.
Dakota Blue Richards. Good for you.
Good on you, Dakota.
Same about yeah. Good for you. Nailed it.
Good for you.
Who's it for? Dakota going, I fucking nailed that.
It's a good thing to have on your resume, Dakota.
Yep.
Good for you. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Why, it's Marvel's favorite property. That's right, we're going for the big dog. Going for Disney.
Oh, it's their most fantastic property.
That's correct.
We're coming for the Mouse House.
That's right.
Because they acquired it from Fox. Or they acquired Fox.
Disney is shaking in their boots. Like,
shaking in their
don't
boots.
you fucking dare. Like, who would watch this, boys, and not
I
scared
don't
of
think you remember the amount of cease and desist letters we got when we did Maleficent 2. And Disney said, not again. Please. Let it be one and done.
The stock
They
tanked.
did. And then we did Blank Check, and they went, you're ruining us.
We'll give you a blank check if you stop it. We're like, guess what, baby? We're coming for Fantastic
We're
Four.
coming for Fantastic Four. That's right. The movie you acquired, you idiots.
The 2005 classic that spawned every comic book film, I think.
Oh, it's our generation's Blade. You know that movie from a few years before Fantastic Four? Love it.
Love it. Thank you
Thanks.
for listening.